Good morning, everyone. Lisa Freed here, and welcome to Rebel Hearted. This is episode 5 of Before My Morning Coffee, and this is my first Saturday edition since we kicked this off, because I believe I started this, well, I know for sure, 5 days ago. All right, so today what I wanted to talk about is lean in closer, get in closer. And what I mean by that is it's so easy to create all these stories in our heads about organizations, other people, all these, like, insert any group, organization, company, you name it. We can easily just apply a whole bunch of labels to things without even having them make one lick of sense. Now, here's an example that I want to share with you about this, and I want to talk to you about a mission that I have. It's kicking off this year, but I imagine that it will last for many years to come, as missions tend to do. So, my mission is to create that community and connection that I crave and that I want to see in the world. Now, community to me means this safe place to go and be able to be fully myself and just really know that there are people there that I love and can count on, and that can count on me and I can offer support. I can receive support there. And those kinds of communities look many different ways. And this morning, one of the communities that I want to speak about is the church that I attend. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, church just really isn't my thing, feel free to change some words up. 5 years ago, if you would have been talking about God, or, well, not 7 years ago or so, if you would have been using the term God or Jesus in front of me, I would have done my best to change the word to universe or something like that, or just left the room entirely. So if you're there, I get it. I am just here to share this story, and you can take from it what it is that you will. Now, 2020 kicked off in a really beautiful and powerful way for me. I attend the Sherwood Park Alliance Church, also known as SPAC. It is a beautiful and welcoming place. I felt at home the instant that I first attended there. And one of the things that they say is belong before you believe. And if there has ever been an organization that has been able to live that out, I say that it is them. Now, this year, every year for the past 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, I'm not sure, they have had a week at the very beginning of January called Solemn Assembly. Solemn Assembly is an opportunity to join together with your brothers and sisters and spend time in prayer and in worship. And every night of Solemn Assembly, so Monday through Friday, there is kind of a teaching, a chance to get to know other people in the church that you don't get to know because, well, if you're like me, you kind of have your seat. You sit in your seat, and that's where you're at. So last year I had went one day on my own to Solemn Assembly. I went to one of the workshops, which is usually held on the Wednesday, and then the potluck with my family. And this year I committed I was going to go all in. I was going to attend every evening of Solemn Assembly. I did. It was life-changing for me to really commit to something like that, see it all the way through, regardless if the weather was cold or if I was working or if there were just things in life coming up. Because I wanted to create that connection. Now, that connection isn't necessarily with other people, but it was definitely with God. I wanted to really deepen that connection that I had with God, and that happened. that happen and continues to happen every day. And it is a great gift. We also, my husband and I, talked about how we want to know more people in our community, how we want to know more people in our church family. So we decided to get in closer and join small groups. Now, it just so happened that if you get to know my personality at all, if these last few episodes of Rebel Hearted haven't expressed this to you at all, I am all in. When I go, when there's something that I'm like, yes, this, I am all in. So we ended up in 2 different small groups for church. And wow. All I can say is, wow. It is just such a different thing when you get to lean in closer, get to know people by their first name, get to sit with them in sacred space and share stories and learn together and journey together. And I can tell you that I have such deep love for these people that I sit with in these groups already. And it's only been a couple of times that we've gotten together. So what I want you to think of is, what communities are you wanting to experience more? Where are you wanting to have more connection? And I want to invite you to lean in deeper, because, again, using church as an example, and I'll use a business analogy for everyone else that's listening that's just like, enough with the church already. I won't stop talking about it, but I can maybe appreciate, if I put myself like where I've felt in my life before, that maybe you're tired of hearing about it. Maybe you're like, tell me more. I love that too. Either way, perfectly fine. The church that I go to, it is a large church. There are many seats. In fact, one time at small group, I'll ask just how many people can attend at a single service. Like, we are talking hundreds and hundreds, if not like a couple thousand. Like, it's a big church. And it is, when you sit down and you're just like, oh, please don't let them say that thing. Don't let them say that thing where you have to introduce yourself to someone new. And then, of course, they do. So then you look around and you shake somebody's hand, but you might not be able to be really present. So you hear their name. Yeah, nice to meet you. And it's like half a second. And then you're shaking somebody else's hand or saying hello and sitting down and being in this space of, wow. I don't really feel super connected to those people, but now I know their names and I can say hello or give them a nod or flash them a big smile or whatever that is. And you've developed tiny threads of connection, but it may not be enough that you've developed relationships and bonds in a couple of seconds, unless you're way less awkward than I am in those circumstances. So that kind of is a way of leaning in closer. And then a small group is another way to lean in closer. Volunteering or serving, that's another way to lean in closer. Joining a membership, another way to lean in closer still. And you find that these bonds get tighter and tighter and tighter and much more deep the closer you get in, the more that you're willing to give of yourself, to be open, to be vulnerable, to share of yourself, and to sit and listen and receive the beauty that other people are pouring out as well, right? So I can't imagine a more rewarding experience than this. And I'm so excited to see how it evolves. Now, the other example of this is in my business, I have went a couple of years without working together with a business coach. I have had accountability partners. There are things like that. And just at the end of last year, I realized that my business was stagnant. It wasn't representing who I am now. I hadn't been in a place where I was really outperforming the person I used to be, which is kind of interesting. I think some people love to be the big fish in a small tank, and it is often the most rewarding to be a small fish in a big tank, right? Like you really have people that are flourishing, that are showing you new things, like new levels of what's possible. And you grow to that. So late last year, I've been part of this Facebook group for a while, and it's a friend of mine. I like to call her a friend of mine, but she's a coach, Jen Scalia, and she's just done really well for herself. And I love watching her grow. I love her authenticity as she goes through her process. I love the coach that she's evolving into every day. And it's inspiring to me. So it started like this. I was part of her Facebook group. Well, there's over 13,000 people in there. And then I joined her membership group, which was smaller, and didn't change the group of people that I was communicating in, just the level of information that I received. In November, I joined a 10-week group program, which put me in a place with other women who were wanting to be small fish in a bigger pond versus the big fish in a little pond. And the level of connection developed there, as we are just over the halfway point now, is beautiful. I celebrate these women every day. I pray for these women every day. I love to be in community with them. Their wins are my wins, and my wins are their wins. And it's just a powerful place to be. And my relationship with Jen has deepened. My relationship with these women have deepened. All these things because I leaned in closer. So today, before I have my morning coffee, I just wanted to invite you to look at your life about, all these areas. So I touched on a spiritual area of my life, and a business area of my life. And now another example, starting on Monday, I'm starting a workout program. It's called Morning Meltdown 100, which means 100 workouts in 100 days. And yes, before anyone is like, you need rest and recovery. Yes, rest recovery days are built in. So no need for nasty grams. You could, I guess, if you wanted to. But there is rest and recovery built into that program. But I've been working out on my own sporadically, ineffectively, for quite some time now. And I'm committed to changing that. I'm committed to this being I am my best self ever. I show up as my best self. And that also means in the physical and health arena. And so improving my fitness capacity and improving my physical health is part of that. So starting on Monday, as I committed to do these 100 workouts in 100 days, guess what? I'm part of a community. I'm part of a small group of people with a similar goal. And we're diving in together. Well, that just sets me up for success right there. Because I'm accountable to other people. Their wins are my wins. My wins are their wins. If you haven't met me in real life, I'm competitive. You should see me in a gymkhana. I'm in it to win it. That's my personality. And so to be able to be in 100-day program with other women and, just having that, showing that check mark on the calendar, that alone, that commitment alone to be in a group like that is going to be a game changer. So I invite you to look at any area of your life, and this can work for every area of your life. Where is it that you can lean in closer? Is it your marriage? Is it your relationships? Is it in your friendships? Right? If you happen to be local to me, if you live in Sherwood Park, Edmonton area, Strathcona County, anything like that, I've created a community. It is called the Bookless Book Club. It is designed to be a community. My vision for it as we grow is a strong and powerful, thriving community where we can be at our worst and know that support can rock up in the terms of groceries and cleaning supplies and a warm fuzzy blanket and beverages and say, hey lady, we got you. And just help take the load off for some people in our community and know that we have created a safe place there. So if you're part of that, go on the Facebook to the Bookless Book Club and request to join that group there. And if you're like, hey, I'm listening online and I don't have the book, like I'm not local and I still want to be a part of a community, then please join me in Rebel Hearted Women. That is my online community. So I wish you guys a day as beautiful as you. I hope that this has inspired you to look at where you can lean in closer and just make today a great one. So much love. Bye for now, everyone.